YouTube? It's your boy Cayman. I'm back here with a brand new video for the Fantasy Premier League season 2024-25. It's been a minute. It's been a long hiatus. I've made some videos for the last season, Fantasy Premier League, but unfortunately I did stop halfway through the season due to some unforeseen circumstances that happened in my personal life that I don't know want to get into right now, but in the future I would share. So the only thing I could do is that I apologize for not being able to keep on making videos for the rest of the season. But I am back. The good news is I am back and I'll be making videos consistently moving forward. And all I can ask is that you support me throughout this journey to making it. And so, yeah, thank you so much. And let's get into the team selection video for game week 1 for the Fantasy Premier League season 2024. So first of all, we're going to start off with your boy Henderson in goal. To be honest, this season there isn't really that many fantastic goalkeeper picks, especially in budget options. You could go for expensive goalkeepers like Alisson or Edison. However, ideally you do not want a keeper from that team. You want someone like an attacking defender like Trent or Guardiola from Man City. So it's really not worth it getting Alisson or Edison in that sense. And you always want to get a cheaper goalkeeper so that you can invest more money into your starting 11 in your defense, in your attack, as well as midfield. So yeah, there is not really much to it. There is a couple of options that's available in 4.5 mil. You have Henderson, you have you can go for Sanchez from Chelsea. You could also get potentially Flecken, but they're really not that much difference in these keepers. Especially with Sanchez, there's a doubt that he may not start. There's a lot of competition in Chelsea. Not sure who's really nailed. There's also Sales, but again, he's also not nailed. So yeah, I pick Henderson, but there's not really much to it. You can go for Flicken or Henderson or Sanchez, up to you. But I picked Henderson for reasons the fact that he's nailed, and Palace has been the top 4 defense last season towards the end of it. So let's move on to our defense now. First, we have your boy Trent. He looked really good in the preseason games. He had a beautiful assist that he gave to Jota. That Jota ended up scoring. So he looked really good under this new manager, and they have a really good fixtures to start off the season. Especially the first game is away to Ipswich, which is a very good fixture that I want to target. And he's always an attacking threat. He's essentially a midfielder playing on defense, so you get both a defensive return as well as an attacking return in most scenarios when there's an easy fixture. So that is my reason for getting Trent. I would strongly recommend that you get at least one premium defender, whether it be Trent, Gabriel, Saliba, or Guardiola. In this case, I went for Trent due to the fact that fixtures and there's a lot of upside. And then the second defender is Kwanzaa. I just think he's an exceptional value for money. He's 4.5, plays for Liverpool, and is quite nailed to start the season. I know there's some competition for Konate, but under this new manager, he seems to be the favourite, and he had the most minutes in the preseason. So I am really, this is a bit of a punty move, but I do think it's worth it to take a punt, at least on one of the defenders to start off the season. And at the end of the day, he plays for Liverpool, and they have good fixtures, so ideally there will be a couple of clean sheets. Moving on to the next defender, we have Anderson, who again plays for Crystal Palace. I know that I'm doubling up on them because I do have Henderson, and I'm doubling up on Anderson. But again, they do have quite good fixtures, and they were quite good defensively towards the end of the season last year. So I'm happy to have him as well. But the reason why I went for Anderson is because he has attacking threat as well as set piece threat going forward. And overall, I like Palace defense, so I want to target them early in the season as well. Moving on to our midfield. First, we have your boy Salah. What can I say? The same old Santa Salah. I've pretty much started with him in pretty much every season that I've played Fantasy Premier League since I've started 3 to 4 years ago. And I don't intend to change that plan. And I'm going to start with Salah again. I know there are some conversations about whether to pick Salah or Haaland, but I can't go without Salah, especially the value that he comes at 12.5. I don't think he's been overpriced. I think he's just been priced correctly. And there is a lot of value to go with him. One, due to the fact that he's really nailed on. And for 90 minutes, he's on pens. And he plays for arguably the third, if not the second best attacking team in the league. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to him. I'm going to captain him as well, most likely. And yeah, it's just there's not much to say. He's pretty much a guaranteed to be at least top two or top three highest scoring midfielders towards the end of the season. Um, and then secondly, the second player that we have in the midfield is your boy Nkunku, who looked really exceptional in the preseason. He had 2 or 3 goals, really been killing it. He's been arguably Chelsea's best attacker, other than Palmer. Um, and Chelsea has really good fixtures, except for the first game week, which is Manchester City. But after that, they have really good fixtures. That I think he's a very good value for money as well. 6.5. I think he's been underpriced. He should have been at least 7 to 8 mil. So yeah, I think he's exceptional. And I think he's gonna have a great season. Hopefully, he doesn't get injured. Because last season we wasn't able to see that much of him because he was quite often injured. Moving on to the next midfielder we have is your boy Smith Rowe, who has just been transferred to Fulham. I know he has the Arsenal top on right now. That's because he has not been updated. His picture's not been updated in Fantasy Premier League app, and he still has the Arsenal top on because they have not had the chance to take the photos and update the app. So he is a Fulham player, and he will be he is quite nailed on for them, and he has a great fixture after the first game week, which is against United. After that, he has a really good run of fixtures, and I think he's a very good target. And when he was playing for Arsenal, he used to score quite often. So I do think this is a very good pick, especially the fact that he comes at 5.5 million, which enables me to go for Salah and other premium midfielders and defenders. And then finally, we have Eze from Crystal Palace. Again, he looked exceptional towards the end of the last season. Scored like 10 something goals in the last 10 games and bunch of assists. He's on pens and nailed for 90 minutes. There are some rumors that he might be moved to City, but until that happens, he'll be in my draft. He's quite nailed on. And I don't intend to move him unless there's concrete um, evidence that suggests that he will be likely to transfer to City. If not, I'll be keeping him, and I do recommend him strongly because he has great fixtures. Plus, he's playing for a great attacking team under the new manager. So yeah, I do think he's a very good pick, and I strongly recommend it. Now let's move on to our forwards. First, we have the main man, Erling Haaland, aka the Earl of Norway. I mean, what can you say about this guy? The guy is a freak, absolute freak of nature, goal scoring machine, robot. I mean, the guy could score in any given day 3, 4 goals in a matter of 20, 30 minutes. And considering how much of a creative options that he has within his team, they will all spoon feed him for tap ins and he will easily get 3, 4 goals in each games if he wanted to. That's how good he is. So it's a no brainer to have Haaland, and obviously he plays for one of the best teams in the league. We just done 4-peat in the last 5 years. Won the Premier League 4 times. He scored like 50 goals in a season. So it's a no-brainer, Erling Haaland. Most weeks he's gonna be my captain. So yeah, what more can you say about this guy? Yeah, I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't be one of those guys that goes without him. Especially to start of the season. You don't want to fall behind too early. Um, Moving on to our next forward is a big differential. Is your boy Kai Havertz. I'll admit I used to be this guy's biggest hater. Now since he moved to Arsenal, he has been exceptional. He really revived his career. He was going downhill in Chelsea. Since he moved, he done exceptionally well. He played central position most of the time, more of a false nine. Sometimes plays towards the left wing. Again, he does really well coming into the box and gets most of those opportunities that's been created by Saka, Odegaard, Martinelli. So he gets the benefit of those creation and ends up scoring. And I do think he's a big differential, and I think a lot of people are sleeping on him, especially last year towards the end of the season. He was doing really well, and people really slept on him, and they didn't really pick him, and they just went with Saka and Odegaard as per your usual template picks. But yeah, I do think he's a very cheeky differential that people are overlooking, and I strongly recommend that you consider him in your attack. And then lastly, we have your boy Isaac. He has a very good attacking fixtures. Southampton, Leicester. These are a couple of good early fixtures that he has that he could easily bag a hat trick. And he could arguably be my captain for game week 1. But again, that's a debate between Salah and Isaac. So I mean, last season he was also smashing it, scored a bunch of goals. His data is incredible. He's predicted to be one of the highest scoring forwards in the first game weeks. I believe Salah is predicted number 1 to be a highest scoring midfielder, and then it's Isaac, and then Haaland, and so on. So yeah, boys, there you have it. This is the starting 11. Now let's move on to our bench. At first, we have your boy Valdimerson, who does play for Brentford, who is a backup goalkeeper. The reason why I went for this backup goalkeeper is because I do have doubts about Flecken. He's quite sus and he's quite suspect. He's quite suspect, and I don't rate him that highly. And I do think he could lose his spot. And if he does lose his spot, he could easily come in, and then you have a playing goalkeeper at 4 million, which we currently do not have in the game. So that is a quite cheeky differential, considering if Flecken does lose his spot. So I would also suggest that you consider him as a backup goalkeeper who's very cheap. I mean, the lowest price you can think of, 4 million. So yeah, and then the next bench option we have at first is Sangare. He plays for Forest. He's a nailed on, central midfielder. Um, he does have some attacking threat, but not to the point of Hudson Odoi or Wood. But he's just a backup option. He's a cheap backup option. If any of my players gets injured, he can just come in for 2 or 3 pointers. Moving on to the next moving on to the moving on to the next player on our bench is Sangare from Nottingham Forest. Again, he's nailed on. Um, he's not that attacking. He does play CDM more often than not, and he's just there to, for a rainy day, if any of my players do get injured, he can just come in for 2 or 3 pointers, and maybe occasionally, if I'm lucky, he might get an assist or a lucky header. So he's just there as a budget option for me to enable this Haaland and Salah draft. Again, as you can see, I've got Haaland, Trent, and Salah. These are not easy players to fit in, so I have to make sacrifices somewhere. Hence, I went for a cheap midfielder and Sangare, who's only gonna come in if any of my players are injured, just for appearance points. And yeah, that's about it. And then secondly, we have Balco. Again, he's one of those players that are cheap, expected to start the first couple of games until Stupinian has recovered from his injury. I do expect him to lose his spot after 3 to 4 game weeks, but to start the season, I do expect him to get a few starts. That's why I picked him. Again, he's another cheap enabler, which enables me to afford this squad. Same with Johnson, who plays for Ipswich, another budget option who plays quite advanced right wing back position. Um, and I do expect him to get some attacking returns, hopefully a couple of assists here and there. So it's quite a bit of a cheeky differential that I've got. But yeah, as you can see, I have quite a weak bench. There's not much there. But again, my starting 11 looks, in my opinion, one of the best. I mean, if you've got Haaland, Salah, Trent, 3 premium, you've got Isaac, even Havertz you can consider premium. You got 5 premium players. You got Nkunku, Eze. So I do think I have quite a very good starting 11. I invested a lot into that, but I do have a weak bench, and but again, that's the sacrifice you gotta make if you wanna be able to have a Salah, Haaland, and Trent draft. So yeah, let me know, guys, what you think. This is my Game Week 1 team. Lastly, just wanna show you that I have zero. I've spent pretty much all the money, 100 million, so I don't have anything else left. So yeah, this is the Game Week 1 team. Let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment below. Let me know where I can improve. You can expect videos from me now on every Friday moving forward. And yeah, I appreciate all your support. Thank you so much for tuning in, and see you guys later. Peace out.